culture, when we see marriage, we just see struggle. Because we always see other people around us struggling married, trying to make it, living in little apartments. So to the average black or Hispanic kid in the ghetto, marriage don't really seem happy to him. Marriage seems happy to white people because white people are married, they have houses, they do things on TV. You see on TV.
Oh my God, there's so much stuff wrong with what he is saying. And I get it. You know, you develop this false narrative out there when marriage is not about happiness. It's not. Man, I'm fighting a sneeze. All right. Marriage is not about happiness. Marriage is about duty and respect and raising the next generation to be better off than you were. Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. I'm your host, Mike. Should more people marry at a young age? Now, this is interesting to see what they describe as a young age, because on this channel, I've said that we do need to we should work at lowering the average age that people get married at. And there's a couple of reasons why. But I kind of want to get through this to see where we're at. See if they bring up any of the stuff that I usually say goes along with that. Let's go ahead and get it going. Remember, 1,000 subscribers. That's what we're shooting for.
Even though my friend Guapo would say that this is for the hoes, this is truly for women.
For the lady, because you a lady.
I think it's truly for women because we need to have our 20s. Even if it's 20 to 25, 18 to 24, women really need their time to learn and grow with themselves. First, you got to know who you are. You got to know what you like. You got to know what kind of man you like. You're not going to learn that at 18 or 19. I mean, there's a few of us who may figure that out early, but the majority of us, it takes a long time to really figure out what we're doing in this life. And while it is important, you know, to like find love and a husband and this, that, and the other, you need to learn yourself first. Because if you go out in here and get married earlier, like you don't know yourself, how that man gonna know you if you don't?
Yeah, if you're trying to do it by yourself, I agree. But one of the things that I say about when these social constructs, you know, if you want to lower the marrying age, the vetting process has got to get exponentially better so that things like this, what she's talking about, don't become an issue. Because again, if you had help with mate selection with a person who's supposed to have known you your whole life, that's going to make a big difference.
Don't know yourself. How is he gonna love you if you don't know how to love yourself? How is he gonna put up with you if he ain't put up with himself?
Don't worry, y'all. You know I got you.
It's really not about pacing yourself. For one, if you know you want to be married, then don't spend all of your 20s, you know, trying to figure out who you are. Maybe take 3 or 4 years. First of all, you have to be very intentional about what you want to do. If you know you want kids early, have your few little whole years and then have your kids at 26, 27. No. I'm not saying live out all of your 20s to your early 30s going on Cancun trips and hoeing and this, that, and the other. It's more so about being intentional with what you want. If you know you want a career, fuck it. Don't worry about men. Don't worry about trying to lock something down. You go freeze your eggs and figure the shit out later. If you want to be in a hole in these streets, go do that. Like I don't see what the big deal is.
The big deal is she's totally ignoring the male perspective. Now, I'm hoping this other gentleman is going to represent for men, but not only men, but marriage-minded men. Because a lot of what she said, men who are looking for wives, they're gonna move right past that woman. Yeah, you wouldn't be a hoe in your early 20s. That's a turnoff for men, especially if I'm looking for a wife and you got a promiscuous past. Most guys will go down in looks to avoid a promiscuous past. So that's terrible advice. Terrible.
Even though men don't want the car with all the miles on it, fuck it. Maybe that woman wants to be the car with all the miles.
All right, look. Now, you know this type of stuff right here is what I was born to.
That's interesting. She tried to clean it up. But again, if you just want to be that woman with high miles, the chances are you're probably not trying to get married anyway. If you are, then then you need to understand that the consequences that come with that. Because High mileage cars don't hold a lot of value. If you want a man to be worth something, when he marries you, then yeah, that's not gonna work.
Talk about. You feel me? And I love Erin, and she definitely shot y'all some bell. But we gotta be real here, right? Like, when you say finding yourself, why is that always equated with being a hoe? Finding yourself has nothing to do with getting fucked by multiple men and eating steaks. You understand? Like, how does I hate when girls say, well, my whole phase was to find myself. What the fuck you find? You kept finding more dick, it sound like, and more breakups and bad memories. So let's just change the narrative when girls go through their little young phase. It has to equate with them being a hoe. You can still date smartly in your young phase and still have fun. Fun does not always equate to getting fucked. Fun is traveling the world with your friends, going to London, going to Paris, going to Egypt. That's called finding yourself.
I'm going to take it a step further. He ain't going to say it. I'm going to say it. We need to do a better job of raising our kids so that they know who they are. And there is no, I need to go find myself phase. No, we're going to raise you to be able to, number one, work in cooperation with the opposite gender. But we're also going to give you responsibilities so that those responsibilities can help define who you are as a person. Are you the type of person that's going to shuck your responsibilities? Or are you going to, when things don't go your way, are you going to be looking to blame somebody else? So those things can be accounted for. And none of this stuff about, I'm 22 and I just want to go find myself. What does that mean? You've been lying. You just lied to yourself the first 21 years of your life. And now you're saying that, well, I don't know who I am anymore. Who were you before? See, we need to start focusing on developing more character sooner. So again, if we can do that with our kids, plus using the tools that we already have available in the vetting process that we're not using, by the way, now all of a sudden these marriages have getting married younger has more of a chance for success. Now I'm still waiting to hear if of the reasons why I say that getting married sooner is that would actually benefit our community. I'm still seeing if they're going to actually approach these issues.
If you're finding yourself in different hotel rooms with different men, you ain't finding shit but dick. And if you want to keep that little curtain over your whole fast, well, I was young, I was finding myself. No, you found yourself single, almost 40. Yeah, and what did you learn? Sex positions? Restaurants? What, Miami? DR? Like, what y'all finding? And she's not wrong what she said, and I'm not wrong neither. But when you see when I hear a girl saying, I found myself, I want to hear her mentioning how she went to London, she went to Cambodia, she traveled the world, she internships, different jobs, dating different people, like respectfully. Stop degrading yourself because the narrative for spring break means go get fucked and get drunk. No, spring break means take a break and relax. See, we always tend to add sex and make it fun. Nah, like finding yourself could be you studying abroad, like being a better person. And I feel like you just gave girls who are out there hoeing a breath. Like, yeah, you see? I could do that shit now. And no, ma, you just finding different dick. And ain't nothing gonna come good from fucking your whole 20s and then your mid-30s, then getting a man in your later 30s. You wasted all that good pussy.
Wait, I have a question, Guapo.
Hold up, you wasted all that good pussy. That thing might be still good, but them walls going for all them weirdos who you found yourself with. Now I done found your ass, and I gotta deal with all this shit.
But Guapo, why I actually agree, I still believe that you have a group of women. Yeah. Some of these women is gonna be hoes. Some of these women are gonna be, career professionals. Some of these women are gonna go and do study abroad and travel to Cambodia and this, that, and the other. You gotta let women do what the fuck they want to do. Like I don't want us to judge.
No.
No, I'm saying these women can't do what they want to do. But again, if we're talking about, here's the whole. This is where the whole perspective of doing a better job of raising our kids coming in, because we've got to. The maturation process is taking too long. We actually need to make sure that our kids start maturing faster. So, especially our daughters, so they can answer the question, do you want to be married? Are you looking for a husband? Because that's the real issue, what she's talking about, right? Because as marriage-minded men, we don't care if you want to go do all that stuff, go do it. I'm not going to sit here and wait for you. I'm going to go find somebody who's ready to get married now. That eliminates all the stuff that she's talking about, because those women can go do those things. But the marriage-minded man is not going to wait for them. That's the big thing there. I think that's where the miscommunication is because no guy's gonna say, no, you can't do that, I'm trying to marry you. Nah, go ahead, I can find somebody else. You want to go travel abroad, that's fine. I'm trying to find the girl next door. You trying to be abroad, you go ahead and do that.
No, we're letting them, but I'm giving them a man perspective on my opinion.
Fair.
We're letting them, but it's our job to give them both sides. You are right; they have the right to do that. But go ahead.
I just don't think that we should make it about hoeing, because I know when a lot of women, let's say my friends, when we talk about finding ourselves, it's literally about brunching, sipping champagne, talking about what we want to do. Let's get together to go buy an apartment building so that we can invest. Like, we talk about freezing eggs. We talk about, literally everything under the sun. And it's actually rare, and it might just be my friends, it's actually rare that hoeing comes up. Yes, people had a whole phase. Yes, are doing some fucking out there. And that's good for them. But let's be real about it. Like, women need, and I don't know, do men need that time? Because women definitely need the time.
Let me just be clear.
You know what's interesting? She talked about all the stuff with her friends. Then no one's talking about, well, I'm looking for a husband. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But those women, they don't sound marriage minded. They sound like they sound like they want to be the fun time girl. Again, you can go do that. No one's going to stop you. Just understand what the consequences are for that. That's why I say better job of raising our kids so that they can accurately answer the question and they don't need to think about it. You don't have, especially today, there's a small percentage of us out here who are men who are actually marriage minded. And it's sad, unfortunately, that a lot of women are choosing to be the fun time girl and then they get passed over. And then, 5-6 years go by and you look up and then a lot of your friends are married and you're wondering, like, what happened? Chances are you already met your husband and you blew it. Sorry to say it like that, but.
Clear though. Now she asked me a question.
Yeah.
So let's be clear though, right? There's nothing wrong with having sex and having fun with your life and enjoying your young years. But what's wrong is you thinking that that's needed to find yourself. That's wrong.
I agree.
So if you a young girl watching this right now or a young man, you're like, oh, Wapo telling me that it's corny to. No, it's not corny. But just know from me that that's not needed to find yourself. Because me living my life, the things that I found out about myself wasn't at spring break. It wasn't at the Holiday Inn. It wasn't in the club. I found myself doing real things like reading, dating and learning about myself and just, being a father. Like, that's what finding yourself means. So let's not always just put sex in it. Where I come from, most of the parents are middle class to poverty. So poor relationships and poor marriages aren't as happy as rich marriages. So I think in the urban culture, when we see marriage, we just see struggle. Because we always see other people around us struggling married, trying to make it, living in little apartments. So to the average black or Hispanic kid in the ghetto, marriage don't really seem happy to him. Marriage seems happy to white people because white people are married, they have houses, they do things on TV. You see on TV.
Oh my God, there's so much stuff wrong with what he is saying. And I get it. You know, you develop this false narrative out there when marriage is not about happiness. It's not. Man, I'm fighting a sneeze. All right. Marriage is not about happiness. Marriage is about duty and respect and raising the next generation to be better off than you were. So while I get what he's talking about, is that there are no good examples of marriage working, especially in the hood. You want to know why? Because people get married and they move out. That's just why you don't see it there. Because literally, you're combining two incomes and you're living in the same. Why are you living in the same neighborhood that you did with one income? Like that, that's you may be temporarily doing that, but it shouldn't. It's not supposed to be for that long, because you're combining resources, and you should have a financial game plan as to how you're going to get yourself out of that situation. That's one of the benefits of being married. Is now, especially for the guy, because you have a woman who is going to aid and help you in your purpose in life. So that should help things move exponentially faster. If it's not happening like that, then you're probably with the wrong woman. You may need to reevaluate some things. But let's keep going.
On these talk shows, you'll see white families. You'll see rich white families. On the Bel Air, on Fresh Prince, you watched that show because you wanted to see how Will was living. You was poor watching that show. They don't show you what real black love look like. A lot of it ain't always, glitz and glamour, like on Atlanta Housewives. There'd be some struggle where I'm from when they married.
Dude, if you're going to make that example, at least pick a show where the people are actually married. I mean, seriously, man, this is like, it's such a false narrative that I don't even know. We might be looking to end this quick, man, because he's making an argument. I get it, but it's not based in facts. It's based on what you see on TV, which is not real.
So when I hear marriage, I be like, damn, my mind goes to money. When as a black man in America, when you mention marriage to me, I be like, damn, marriage, I think about the money I gotta spend. Because where I'm from, the man got it the worst.
Really?
It's like the man gotta do everything.
Keep in mind that the average man does not make enough income to make it to the end of life through retirement. So you keep telling me you keep using that excuse about it's about the money. Really? Well, by the time you reach age, it's not usually 65. It's usually about 70, and you're out of money because you didn't take the time to number one, plan for your future. Planning for the future would have told you that this is virtually impossible for me to do by myself. I need some help. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you with that one. That's another video, but let's keep going.
In marriage, like all the weight on a man's back. So to a man, marriage don't sound too good these days because the way TV got it and these rap songs got it, the man got to do everything. You feel me? So it's like, marriage don't really sound too good where I'm from. It don't sound. Now, if you Katie and Sarah, you want to get married because your mom married a white dude, you going to marry a rich white dude, y'all going to live in a big-ass house, get a pet, have a bunch of kids. To them, it sounds great. But when you trying to come up and you middle class, that shit sound expensive.
I think that when it comes to who's getting married first, it's about conditioning. Yeah. We are not, in fact, conditioned to pursue marriage. Like you said earlier, a lot of us grew up but a lot of people grew up in single-family homes where it was only one parent doing all the rearing.
Yeah, and in those cases, usually it's called a generational curse for a reason. It's because you grow up watching your parent, usually a mom, in survival mode. So that's all you know. But again, I've said this before. Communities aren't built when the people are in survival mode. You just get stuck in survival mode. You have to move past that. Marriage is one of the ways that you can get past that for the next generation. But if all your kids doing is seeing you going out and working 2 jobs your whole life, And and they're gonna pick up on that, and they're just gonna go do the same. They're just gonna put their head down and go to work, and then one day look up and realize that they're not happy. Because at the end of the day, life is about people, not things. See, when we raise kids in survival mode, you're trying to make up for the fact that you're not there by buying them things. But of course, because it's only one of you and you're raising kids, there's not that much income to buy the things. So now you've got two problems. Now you're never home because you're always out working. And number two, your kids got nothing to show for it except, well, they really not got nothing to show for it because, you're working all the time and they're wondering where you're at. But then there's also a level of distrust breeding for, well, the reason why mom got to work so hard is because my dad ain't here to help her. What happened to him? Psychological warfare is what it is. We got to start breaking this stuff down. At the end of the day, we still need each other. Men need women, women need men.
You know what I mean? So if that's what you see, you are not conditioned to desire, to want, to what's the word? Emulate, having a 2-parent home because you didn't see it. You worried about going in here and getting money, about working because people are struggling. You trying to make it to the next level. It's all about what you see. It's about representation. And like you just said, Katie wants to get married because Katie's parents was married at 22 and they've been together for 44 years. You know what I mean? That's not the same example that's been traditionally set for us. Maybe with our grandparents, but like with our parents, it's a whole nother situation. So we just have a very different perspective when it comes to marriage.
You know what's funny about black love? No, because I know I'm going to get comments like, oh, he disrespecting black love. I know.
I agree with her. I think it's Erin. I'm not used to seeing her with long hair, but I agree with Erin 100%. This is why I say we need more married people making content because even at that point, well, the purpose is to show there are multiple types of relationships out there that can work, or multiple ways of making a marriage work, not just the one or two that we see. And then, because a lot of times what happens is that if it's not working out like those one or two ways, we're splitting. It's not working. This is too hard. I don't want to do this, and we're gone. Right? But now, if you have more examples of working marriages, okay, it becomes you start approaching marriages and relationships like your salad bar. Take what you want and leave the rest, because that's not going to work for us. These things will, though. So let's go ahead and try this. And then, of course, you're working it out with your partner, and you guys figure it out. That's the most important thing. But we need more married people making content. That's just because, again, it gives us more examples to live by, so that if you're being raised in that single parent home, I can still come on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, God forbid. And you know what? This couple on here is showing me something. They look like they're having a good time, talking about stuff on these videos, or they have some great topics, some things that make you think. I kind of want to lean towards that. I'm kind of learning stuff here. It's all about perspective, man. And we need to get more married people so that we can gain some perspective of worker relationships. Because right now, it's just, we're seeing the results of 20 to 40 years of praising single parent homes because they're doing something amazing, or supposedly amazing. I mean, yeah, they're doing something amazing. All right. They're perpetuating that being stuck in survival mode is good enough, and it's not. Guys, this is as far as I'm going to take this video. It's interesting to see because we're back at 8 at the table. This is an older video, but it's interesting to see, how far the channel has come, because clearly this is a totally different set. And, but hey, it's good to know that the topics are still there. High level conversation for sure. I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace.